This short video is going to share what happened in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the first quarter of 2024 for homes on an acre or more. Now, as I've said many times, homes on an acre or more perform differently than the overall market. You can't make decisions about your home sale or your home purchase based on the overall market stats because 1 acre plus homes are different. They perform differently. They always have. It's very coincidental if the lines cross and the performances are similar for homes on an acre or more and subdivision homes. It's about as common as my friend and I having the same opinion, crossing lines at the same point where we actually agree on something. Now, I won't tell you his political views, but they're very different than mine. Subdivision homes are not the same as homes on an acre. And when the lines cross and they perform the same, it's just a coincidence. I've been specializing in homes on an acre for too long to think anything other than the fact that they perform differently, and you have to pay attention to what's going on. And we're going to do that in this video. Take a look. Now, this is a hotness ratio. Really shouldn't be red. Really shouldn't say hotness because really should be the coldness ratio at this point. The hotness ratio shows the most current picture of a market, and we're below 30%, which is kind of a buyer's market. But again, comparatively, there are some markets that are much worse, down around 14, 16%. So we're in a steady market. We're at about an 8-month supply of homes. Now, just so you know, there are some areas of the 1 acre plus market, some price ranges that are over a year, even 14 to 16 month supply of homes. So 8-month supply of homes, though it doesn't sound great overall, is not as bad as it could be. We've seen worse. Now, we were on the other side of a normal market for so long, this sounds terrible to everybody. About a 6 to 6.5 month supply of homes is considered normal according to Texas A&M Real Estate Center. And we were on the other side of that for so long, 8.4 months is a buyer's market. But it's not a tremendous buyer's market. In other words, we're not seeing huge discounts, which I'll show you in just a second. So let's start with some stats. The first quarter of 24 compared to 25, we saw a reduction in home sales in the 1 acre plus market of 23%. Yes, that's substantial. I think, quite sincerely, that was just discouragement by home buyers that the interest rates were not coming down as expected. From a psychological perspective, anyone who knows about that knows that one of the worst things you can do is not pain or gain, but the removal of gain. And they were promised lower interest rates and they didn't happen. So I think it discouraged buyers. In the second quarter, we're already seeing improvement on that. And the average price was up. Now, we don't have a huge database of homes on an acre or more, like if we took the entire Central Texas market. But to show a slight gain is a big positive because we've been seeing negatives for a while. Now, this doesn't mean exactly you can calculate your home's value and add 1.81% from last year. That's not really what this is all about. It's just showing overall the market has a slight positive edge to it compared to last year when we were actually seeing this number in the red. And we're looking at time on the market having increased. So we're about a little over a week longer than we were a year ago. We're over 100 days. Now, there's 3 ways to figure days on the market, and I do it like this. So if a home's in the market with one real estate agent for 90 days and it doesn't sell, and they go on the market with another agent and it takes 60 days to sell, that's not a 60-day time on the market. That's 90 plus 60. I hope that makes sense. So that's the way I do it. People that don't count that first time on the market, I think are hedging their bets a little bit. So we're looking at an average of over 100 days in the market. Again, not terrible. I saw averages of 100 days in the market even during years we thought were fantastic. Now, here's a real good sign. Buyers aren't as demanding as they were a year ago. They're paying closer to asking price. So I think 23 and 24 were actually kind of, well, punishment for what buyers had to go through during 2021 and 22 when they had to pay way over asking. So they were paying way under asking in those years, in 23 and 24. That started to go up. 97.25% of asking is normal. We're seeing some normal stats. This is another one. List to sell ratio is fairly normal. The days in the market is fairly normal. The supply at over 8 months, that's not really normal. That's more on a buyer's market. But we're seeing some pretty positive stats that I don't think a lot of people expected. And this is how much the price was changed before a home sell. And this reflects how much a home price was changed before it sold. We're looking at a big difference. Homeowners with homes on an acre or more are not having to reduce their prices as much to get them sold. Now, what does that tell you? Well, it says they've really kind of settled into and understand the valuation. Home values did slip. And in 23 and 24, homeowners were having to lower their prices a lot to get back down to market because their expectations were just too high. Now, I'm going to throw one more thing at you, and that's homes that did not lower their price. In other words, that were priced right to begin with, ended up selling higher, closer to asking, and faster. But when you price your home higher than it should be, and you have to lower your price, you will end up taking less money. It's nearly always the case. So really be thorough and diligent in thinking about where you price your home. Now I'm going to send you on to another video. It's about a powerful and proven home selling secret. If you've seen this video before, might want to see it again. I mean, I've seen some of my favorite movies more than once, although I'm not sure this could really compare. But anyway, watch that if you'd like to. I threw that video up here. Do hit like if you like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thanks for your time, and remember, it's your choice, so make it a powerful day.